Hi, my name is Mary and I'll be presenting the critical language period. The two resources that I will be basing my presentation off of is Speech and Brain Mechanisms by Wilder Penfield and Lamar Roberts, and The Biological Foundations of Language by Eric Lenenberg. So what is this period? It is the first few years of life where an individual can acquire a first language. Why is that so important to education? Well, it was first proposed by Wilder Penfield in 1959, and then it was expanded upon by Lenenberg in 1967. What are their theories? What do they think? Why is it important? Well, it's important because Penfield and Roberts found that with their study of neuroscience of language, that language is more dominant in the left hemisphere of the brain. But this open language acquisition period caps off at the age of 9. And after that age, it becomes harder for people to learn these new languages and be able to build a foundation with these languages. Lenenberg took their research and expanded upon it by saying, well, once puberty hits, the brain kind of separates into two hemispheres, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. And once that happens, learning and acquiring a language is much harder than what you would expect. And he said that this age cap was 13 when puberty begins. Some researchers even say that the new age is 17 or 18. It's really just about their own single person, about who that one individual is. Here you can see an example of a early childhood bilingual who started learning a language in this critical time period, and there's no stressors whatsoever. In this high proficiency bilingual, you can see that there are a lot of stressors here and in the back part of the brain. And why is that important? Because it shows that they're not necessarily recepting the knowledge as easily and as efficient as this bilingual over here. And a low proficiency bilingual has even more stress and has even more difficulties learning this, learning these languages. So what is the importance of this? So acquisition, I said language acquisition earlier. What does that mean? It is the process by which humans acquire the capacity to perceive and comprehend knowledge, as well as develop communication skills. In this chart, you can see that this is a short acquisition period. It's really an age in months for early childhood. What is early childhood? It's when a child is developing their imagination, their language skills, their ability to express themselves and understand themselves. That period is crucial in education because it's allowing them to be receptible to knowledge and for receptible to these new languages that they are wanting to learn. So necessity. Auditory memory. Auditory memory is the process to store and recall orally presented information. It's the ability to auditorily comprehend complex situations and complex conversations that you have. And it's so important to know that in educational task, the lack of auditory memory inhibits a child's ability to progress in any way. So what does that mean for deaf children or hard of hearing children? It means that there was a study that MIT did in 2008 where children who were given an implant before 4 years old were able to have the same efficiency as a child who was born with typical hearing. Later children who were implanted after the year of 4 years old had more delays in their learning difficulties. They had more delays. They indicated that their central auditory system was not matching. What is the central auditory system? Well, it's made of two parts, the brain and the brainstem. So the auditory system sends nerves and signals through the brainstem to the primary auditory cortex, which is down here on the left side of your brain, like we saw earlier. The brainstem then has the sound and it manipulates the sound, it tells you what the sound is, but if you don't have that set up in the critical time period, you lose all of that. You don't have that foundation, and it causes a variant of learning disabilities. So why is it so important? The earlier you catch on, the earlier you can help. If you find out that a student is having delays in their native language, you can properly address it by possibly cochlear implants or being able to help push them along and get them into preventative actions in these settings, whether it's in the classroom, at home, wherever it may be. It's important and it's imperative that the critical time period is thought about in these processes. So here are a few of my resources. Like I said, my 2 books are right here, but I have the others right up here as well. Thank you.